I like it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on Southpaw's Tales from the Bar Stool. As you can see, we have a different backdrop as normal. We are in my dining room. We have a special guest. We have Stephen Cullen here.
Is this your dining room?
It's her dining room. She allows me to come in. So to my left is Kat, and to my right is Stephen. You might recognize the name. He is the owner of Knucklehead Media Group. He does all of our distribution, post-editing, all that good stuff. And we'll let him talk about that here in a little bit.
Hopefully not too much.
Nah.
There's no
just like
green room
it
for
just-
you.
Exactly.
It was really just one of those fortuitous things where he messaged me on Facebook. Hey, I'm gonna be in Corpus. Mind if I swing by and say hi? I'm like, hey, we're actually gonna be doing a show. Just come on, and that's how it happened. So
And the rest is history.
just so we can get through all the responsible bullshit early. If you are viewing us on Facebook, make sure that you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Give them permission to see your name. If you are listening to us on any of your other favorite podcasting platforms, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, click the bells, all that other shit you're supposed to do. I'm just
Leave
going
a
to blast
review,
through all
too.
that stuff.
Leave a review too. Like if you're listening on the podcast.
Yeah, and leave
Go
a
to the
review.
podcast app, rate it, leave a review.
And that's why he
Tell
gets
him,
paid the big bucks.
Tell him.
Because I didn't know that was an option.
Subscribe.
Leave a
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
review.
subscribe. Leave reviews. Do all that
why
good
have y'all
shit.
waited this long to leave a review? What's going on with y'all?
So when he said he was coming, I asked him what he'd like to drink, and he said IPA. I don't know a lot about IPAs because I generally don't drink them. I've had some I like. I've had a lot I don't like. So I just went and got a random sampler pack.
There you
Which
go.
one are you drinking?
I am drinking it's a New Belgium. So if you do like IPAs, New Belgium makes a fantastic Voodoo Ranger. So he's got a Voodoo Ranger Juicy.
It's the Juicy Haze IPA.
I'm a big fan of the just the Voodoo Ranger. I think it's a 7% ABV. I can't remember the name of it. Oh God, I put me on the spot. But it's really good. I like it a lot. And you don't have to drink a ton of them. You can just drink like one or two.
So yeah, this is the first time I've ever had the Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze IPA. So it's
Brought to you by
7.5%.
Not so much.
What are you drinking, Kat?
Well, I haven't started this one yet, so this is going to be the Dominga Paloma Sour, and I was already drinking the Josh wine that Steven brought me, so I'm going to share them.
All right.
We're going to see.
Let's
if they
crack
make a
them open
really
and
pretty
it was-
baby.
It was hilarious. Okay, sorry.
Let's crack them open and give them
I
an
went,
honest
Dominga,
little review
meet
there.
Josh, meet Dominga.
Yeah, there was a little virtual intro. It's a 1985
All right.
IPA, New Belgium.
Oh wow, that smells like grapefruit.
So
That's good.
not
That's good.
Damn, that's
Good
good.
call. Is this? I think this character is wearing like a Cobra Kai jacket too. That's
he's got
kinda neat.
the plastic sunshades with the lines
Like,
through
doesn't that
it.
look like Cobra Kai? Like it's Cobra Kai?
Oh my gosh, it
That's
does.
on brand for sure.
Holy
You know what? For an
crap.
IPA, this isn't too
What
fucking
year is
bad.
that from?
1985, back when
Hey,
Daniel LaRusso was bitter.
Sweetie,
Yeah, he was upset.
sweetie, that's
kidding me.
that's the year after I was born. Do you feel old
Because
yet?
Because you're a fucking baby.
Yeah, this is actually really good though.
What year were you born?
82.
82.
82.
God damn,
Just
just on
turned
the
the
old
big
one here.
4-0 this year.
So while we're going through this and all of our sponsors, make sure that you put in the comments what you're drinking, even if it's just pussy water.
That's what I was drinking on the way here. So
Yeah, that's why I drink a
Yeah,
lot. So
a lot.
are you gonna do the sponsors there, baby?
Triple digits in Texas.
Sure. So first of all, is like always, is 5x5 Brewing Company in Mission, Texas, Battleborn, Texas brewed with beers like the 40 millimeter stout, Burnett Bombshell, and Foo Bar. It's no surprise that this brewery is taking over the Texas market from the Valley to the Panhandle. Please ask your grocer, restaurateurs, or bars to start carrying 5x5 Brewing today. You can get their information at facebook.com/5x5 Brewing. You can email them at info@5x5 Brewing, or you can call them 956-445-5421.
She did all that from
I was-
memory
I was gonna
because
say,
I
that
lost our sheet
I
that
was
we
like, where
usually
is she reading this from?
I wasn't.
Yeah.
she's read it
That
so
is-
many times that she
Oh
has
my
it
gosh.
memorized. So it's like,
I
That
left
is
out George Rice, but I
impressive.
still love you, George.
Wow.
All right.
Great work.
moving on.
Yeah. So
Are
you
you
can
gonna-
also go to their website, right? Is there a plug-in at all?
It's
to that?
5x5
Brewing.com.
brewing.com.
Got it. There you go. All right. Cool.
Are you going to do this one or you want me to
Do it.
Oh, no, because I always.
It's OMOG Construction, founded by Marine vet Seth.
Matt Anders and Seth Knox.
Yeah, Seth Knox and Matt Anders. Jesus Christ. And Seth is a friend of mine. And I blinked out. Like, I'm such an asshole. But the long story short, they're just badasses with concrete. If you need anything done from retaining walls to patios, anything that's commercial, industrial, or residential, they got you covered.
In the
You can get a
Houston,
hold
Texas
of them.
area.
Yep. The greater Houston, Texas area, which includes
Greater.
Katy and Conroe and Sugar Land, Galveston, that whole area. It's if you're not from Texas, that place is fucking massive. It takes you like an hour to drive through it if traffic is good.
Talking about Houston.
Yeah.
It's
Traffic
stupid.
is never
It's
good.
stupid.
Yeah.
It never is. Any city that has like 3 loops around the city that you can drive going 80 miles an hour and it still takes you an hour for every single loop.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
too
yeah.
big.
I'll take the toll
It's
road there.
crazy.
It's worth every penny.
The only good thing about the Houston, Texas area is OMOG construction. There you go.
That's right. Man, that was a great play. But you can for real, if you're a realtor in the area and you need some stuff taken care of, go look them up. Mortgage people, like they're gonna square you away. Go to facebook.com/OMOGCO. That's Omako. Instagram Omako. Facebook. Everything is pretty much Omako. If just look it up. That's stands for one Mexican, one Wedo. If you don't know what Wedo is, that's Spanish slang for white dude, and that's the name of their company.
or you
just-
can just do Akgomo backwards. You know, same thing.
What the
I don't know. I don't get paid.
It is true. She's right.
It is. It is.
It's literally backwards.
Yeah, let's hold on. I'm clicking back on that. So yeah, it's it's Akgomo back.
Akgomo backwards.
And that's what they pay for. Ours, we're goddamn professionals.
That's right.
Moving forward, we got a Nathan Einkorn with Be My Neighbor Mortgage. It's also BMN. They used to be Debt Does Deals, if you're familiar with them.
They have a podcast too.
BMN does?
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Be My Neighbor Mortgage, which is
Chris Griffith
and Nate Nottingham. They just launched their podcast.
Great guys.
On Your Way
Great guys.
Home or on
So
home.
yeah, they're the guys that Nathan Einkorn is working with now. You can reach him at Einkorn. That's EINKORN at BMN.com. Call him at 720-980-9988 or Instagram, Colorado Mortgage Broker, Facebook at Nathan Einkorn. But it's the convenience of online brokers, but with a professional small town feel. Great guys, especially if you're looking for anything that's VA related, conventional loans, FHA, all that good stuff. They know everything about everything. If they don't, they're not going to steer you wrong. They're going to find you the answer.
Vetted VA too.
Yeah, and a part of the vetted VA. So they specialize in knowing about VA loans.
If you don't want to be sold and you only want to be taken care of, that's where you want to go.
For sure.
They took care of us.
Chris did our loan too.
Yeah, that's how we
he's a
got this
stud.
beautiful, nice house that
He's
Stephen
awesome.
Cologne got to finally see.
Yep, it is.
So yeah, the
awesome.
company on the board, they did our mortgage, they did your mortgage. So yeah.
So we're just a little biased.
And then finally,
yeah, skip these guys. It's
no, no.
All right.
Actually, now your 3 minutes
Knucklehead.
begins.
We bring
So-
dead leads to life. That's what we do. We help with podcasts. So
yeah, all of our editing and distribution is done by this gentleman right here, Steven, and his I almost said family, but I'm pretty sure your team is your family. But his team over there at Knucklehead Media Group, you can get them at knucklehead.agency, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Everything is just Knucklehead MG. They've got all your podcasting needs, from distribution, editing, planning, get you some good metrics, the stuff that they've taught us on the backside that we had no idea about. Like, they break it down to where even retards like me can understand it. So I'll let him talk about it a little bit more.
That was not politically correct.
he is he's
Retards
way
like
smarter than
I?
am. He's way smarter than I. He can do stuff with leather that I can't do. It's pretty cool. So yeah, Knucklehead is real. I mean, without getting into the weeds, I got frustrated as a sales leader, started venting some of my frustrations over the course of a podcast, and learned through about 40 or 50 of them that people that I was having on liked talking about the things that they had screwed up along the way. And so they asked me to start building podcasts for them. So
That was actually how we first met. Was we were in a mutual Facebook group on our Facebook group on Facebook. God damn, that's redundant. And
It's like a veteran,
but it's veteran
group.
entrepreneurs, and you were looking for guests for your podcast, the Knucklehead podcast.
Yep.
And you were asking about people that failed, and I just recently closed down my business for the first time. But I was also very candid about a lot of my mistakes, and if it can prevent somebody else from making those same mistakes, I have no problem talking about it. That's the first time we met, and it's kind of just bloomed into a friendship from there.
Oh, I'll tell you all his mistakes.
Oh, she will.
He's
she has
like-
no
Yeah.
Do you have a pen
problems.
and pad?
Yeah.
I'll give
Well,
you
that's
some notes.
that's
and-
yeah, that's what wives are there for, to remind us and then thoughtfully encourage.
It's
right?
to keep
Thoughtfully
you
encourage.
grounded and keep you honest.
Thought-
That
Thoughtfully encourage. I like the
Yeah.
way that that's worded.
Yeah.
My wife does that constantly, but she's also my best friend.
I
so it's
tighten
like,
his hats down so his head doesn't get too big.
there you go.
It's
It's what we're
constructive redirection.
There you go. Yeah, we could like sex that up all types. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's loving encouragement, and you
It's
feel like
be-
a jackass, but then you love her at the same time.
It's like,
you know?
I'm not
It's like-
mad. I'm just disappointed.
It's because I love you. It's because
Oh
I
my
love you
gosh.
that I have to bust your balls.
Yeah.
That's
So-
why.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like we do with any of our guests, whether they're here or they're online, we give everybody 3 minutes to talk about whatever they want to talk about, your business. If you got anything new coming
A
up,
book you wrote. A lot of
book,
people have
whatever,
books
your
to talk
courses,
about.
anything that you want to like sell.
Sure.
This is your chance to do it. Besides that, it's off the clock, behind the scenes, under the influence.
Except for the menage a trois you offered earlier, you don't have to sell us on that. We're already in.
I'm
To
in.
qualify that statement, it's a brand of wine. My wife really likes it. So anyway, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. All right. So thanks, man. I appreciate it. So first of all, thanks for having me over. It's really cool to be able to meet face to face. It's one of the cool things that I like about podcasts. It's a cool thing that I like about social media, even though that there's a lot of challenges associated with it. So when I say challenges, I mean, there's a lot of image manipulation that happens, on social media. People try to portray one image and then be something completely different whenever they're in person. So that's not the case here, which is great. So I appreciate y'all having me over.
I appreciate you
See?
coming over.
See, well, that's proof, y'all. We're nuts.
So-
That's outside this.
Hey, what's happening from New Mexico? Adam Bird, is that the same Adam Bird, Heroes Media Group? Do you know?
I have
think
no
it
idea.
might be.
Adam Bird, are you the same ones from Heroes Media Group?
I bet it is. If it is, cool. What's up, Adam? It's been a while, my friend. I owe you a call. So my
So do
my
I.
wife,
I'll-
my wife,
I'll
like
call you.
probably 3 or 4 years ago, right at the beginning of COVID. So her passion's always just been helping people, working people. So, all right. So her passion has been fitness, working on herself, and then indirectly helping people make better diet decisions and increasing the quality of their life, primarily through their kids. Like, so she wrote a children's nutrition book 4 years ago called Power Up. And the idea was, after talking to my oldest son about foods, he was like, why don't you make the characters in the book like the organs inside the body? And then that way they're telling their person what they should eat. So anyway, she wrote the book called Power Up. It's a children's nutrition book. So if you want to learn about food and, the effect that food has on your body from an inside out standpoint, it's a pretty cool book.
I just
So-
texted that to Kat right now, so
Did
don't
I
forget.
mention
Yeah.
I work at a children's hospital?
No. Oh, that's awesome.
So I was
That's so
like,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
So
I
she-
could totally pass that on to our nutrition group. That would be amazing. Because, I mean, I hate to say it, but South Texas, we have a very high per
There's a
capita
there's a fuck ton of
diabetes.
fat fucks here.
Stop it.
Hey, I'm one of them. I can say it. We're allowed to say that.
Yeah, well, there was that Super Size Me documentary. It goes back. I mean, he was kind of embellishing a lot of what's a kind of an obvious point, but it's just a dive deep into what diet decisions lead to, right? So I worked with a guy a long time ago whose granddad was actually in the food business. And he said, I mean, would you rather sell the table that people eat on, or would you rather sell the food that they put on there 27 times a week? And it's like, well, if you don't control those decisions or understand the impact of what that food has on your body, then quite frankly, you're up a creek.
Yeah.
So anyway, she wrote that book. It's connected to her passion. So you can go to it's either Jules Cole, I can't remember, JulesColon.com, or you can go to Amazon and type in Power Up Kids Book or powerupkidsbook.com. I think those are all the URLs. So I'll take my 3 minutes and plug my wife's book because it's pretty cool.
Okay, that's love.
That's pretty. That's the
love.
first time. 3 seasons, 30 plus episodes per season. That's the first time that's ever happened.
Good
Where somebody
job.
else has
Yeah.
played somebody else. So
Heck
you're a
man.
first.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
That was
First time
awesome.
for everything. And it is Heroes Media Group. So let me plug Adam Bird. So Adam Bird's watching this show, and if you're listening right now, just over a podcast, go to Heroes Media Group and go find Adam. Adam's was an inspiration after I first got started in business. Like I said, 40, 50 episodes before I actually started Knucklehead Media Group and producing podcasts for companies. Adam was doing it back before even people could spell podcasts. So it's the OG right there.
So people know how to spell.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. It's like, dang it.
Damn it. Again, I'm behind the eight ball.
Yeah, for sure.
So how did you come up with the name Knucklehead?
So back in 2017, that same guy that I was working for, we didn't really see eye to eye all the time, and I didn't agree with HR on a lot of the decisions. However, the way I reacted to that environment kind of put my family's financial stability in jeopardy, and so I reacted in a way that wasn't very good. And so I choose that. It was kind of a term of endearment. You're a knucklehead. You make stupid short-term decisions that jeopardize your long-term financial stability. And so that's what I did.
Code word.
I mean, it happens.
Supersized knucklehead.
Hey, listen, we all make mistakes. And so,
pride is a motherfucker,
better.
isn't it?
Fellow crayon eater is right. What's up, Chris Baker, whoever
Hey,
you
Chris.
are.
Chris Baker, welcome back.
Welcome back to
sir.
Corpus, Chris.
Welcome back. Yes. Yeah, he'll be having his welcome back. So Chris Baker was living here. He moved away and he's moved back.
He's my twin.
Yeah. Wow.
We are born on the exact same day, exact same year, like everything.
Yes.
And just happened to meet through
They
mutual
look
friends.
almost identical.
Wow.
And we don't
never-
look anything alike. But,
Yeah.
but it's
What kind of twin is that? When they don't
but he's like
look
my birthday twin. Like it's
The anti-doppelganger twin. I don't know.
Sure.
What is that?
It's the
he's my twin.
Common twin. Yeah, twin.
he's my twin.
Twin.
That's all that matters.
Cool, man. Fell on
So
crayon eater.
glad to have
Marine
him back
Corps,
in the Corpus
right?
area.
Happens to be
Except
Marine?
yeah, he was a dryhead or is dryhead, whatever the term is.
We get
Was
weird about. We're almost like the
Oh,
Ohio
it doesn't
State.
quite rhyme. I'm
The-
It's like
to
it's
figure out-
the Ohio State.
I'm trying to figure out a rhyme that goes with it, like twin from a different behin. I'm gonna think of something. I'm gonna make y'all shirts that say that or something. I don't know. Y'all help me out. I'm
Twinkie
trying
from another Slinky.
to- there you go.
That's clever. That's super clever. Very cool. So
Girl from another home.
Hey,
gonna stop.
Chris, we are
Oh.
not going to be here on Friday, so
No,
but we will be.
We're gonna be gone for like a week
Wait,
and a half.
OPSEC. Yeah, that's exact. Operational security. Can't give away location.
We don't tell people
Yeah.
when we're going to be gone. We're just not going to be home
Yeah,
for certain
Don't pay
times
attention
during
to that.
Are
Friday.
y'all
Strike that
editing
from the
me
record.
in person?
Yes.
What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
OPSEC. It's
Oh,
just,
my
it's a thing.
We're going to New
There's a
Mexico.
reason. Like
Here's where we're
anytime
going.
we do road trips, like when you go camping or stuff like that, there's a reason I don't post any of the pictures until we get
Sweetie,
back. It's so people don't know that we're
share
gone.
Sexual positions. We can't
Nice.
share
That's
where we're
fine.
going on vacation.
I'm gonna exit from that.
Yeah, come
part
on
of the
out.
Conversation.
Come on out, Chris.
That's
See us
their
tomorrow.
deal. 607.
Sadie will be
that's
here.
awesome.
I'll be at work tomorrow, but
So
I was in 04.
What?
So I'm gonna bro out with Chris for a second. What's up, man?
you were in
04.
04.
I was in 04. Don't hold it against me. I
Oh
was-
wait, never mind. I'm thinking 04 is in officer 04,
No,
not
no. 04, like 0481. It's Marine. That's the first two of your 4-digit MOS, military occupational specialty. For those of you who are listening, we geek out on acronyms. We're kind of awesome that way. You know how it works. So,
these little knuckleheads.
oh, the parents have joined.
That's her parents.
Oh, that's cool.
They watch us
Hello.
and until we can make them
Mr.
uncomfortable.
Right.
What is 04 in
04 logistics. I was a logistician. So
Ah.
moved stuff, a bunch of stuff. Like
So-
most of the time for fun, we would just have all the newbies, empty out the Quonset huts and then just move it out. Oh, okay, inspect it. It looks good. Put it back. So that type of 04 is what we did.
So that kind of leads into something like knucklehead decisions of our life. Like I wasn't a horrible troop, but I was not a stellar troop. Like I did my job when I was in uniform. Did
You
my
did
job.
the bare minimum, and which is not like you now.
No, I mean I
It's the
did
polar
more than the bare
opposite.
minimum, but I didn't
Really?
go way above the bare minimum. Like
'Cause now you
but I
have-
got in trouble one time, and luckily at this point in my career there was a good I had a good supervisor that believed that paperwork is like a very last resort.
Yeah.
You don't go to paperwork. And there's and towards the end of my career, paperwork was the first thing that people went through. Like you weren't a part of the squadron, and so you got an Article 15 towards the end. But I had one guy when I can't remember what I did, but it was something knucklehead. And I had to sit out in front of the squadron where they had this rock garden and flip all the rocks so they didn't get sunburned. And that was my punishment. So I'm sitting out there for 8 hours just flipping rocks.
Did any of them get sunburned?
No, because they're fucking rocks.
You did your job. Well done. Well done. Did you learn your lesson?
Probably
Of course not. Mom, just to catch you up, I was
that's funny.
pre-gaming with red wine, and then JD gave me a beer. So, tink. I learned it from watching you, Mom. I learned it from watching you.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well, all right. So turning things back real quick to the children's nutrition thing, just for a second, then we'll go back to Knucklehead.
Yeah.
So it's your show, so I apologize.
Hey, man,
So here we go.
No, take over. It's fine.
No, the I'd say the application at the tail end of the Power Up book that, so how did Jules want to actually Jules is my wife, by the way, Jules Colin on Instagram, Knucklehead, I'm sorry. Power Up Kids book on Instagram too, if you want to go there. So she wanted to say, for the kids who actually read the book, how can they share all of their findings or their learnings and then apply it? And it's been really cool to see a bunch of kids talk about Heather Hart and all the characters in the book, Brenda Brain or Bonnie Bone or Max Muscle or
that's cute.
So
I like the alliteration.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of alliteration.
Yeah, man, she's a genius. She's a genius. So she's awesome when it comes to making things super simple.
Yeah.
For me, I have a tendency to complicate them. She's like, no, we're gonna keep it super simple. And so anyway, she makes things very easy for parents who are getting frustrated about how do you get your kids to eat broccoli, or how do you get them to choose to try different foods because they don't like the texture and that type of thing. So
or autistic kids that do it by color,
or a
colors
texture.
or textures that throw them off. That would be a good, interesting book for her to do.
You know how we got our kids to
Because
try
there's
different
a
things,
lot of
and
problems with that.
oh, I bet.
the way that we got our kids to try different things and eat vegetables and fruits is we didn't give them a fucking choice.
That sounds oddly familiar.
That's true.
Man. I just resorted to yelling, and she was like, "No, let's make it."
We don't. Yeah, and this is coming from we were both severely overweight. I mean, I was I was over 200 for my entire 20s and most of my 30s. So I wasn't the best as far as being a good example, but I expected them to be better. So I would eat crap, and then I would be just buying them fruits and vegetables. So now they love fruits and vegetables, which is great. My mom and dad texted me their drink, and
What
see.
Is that a bottle of A1?
No, it's not a bottle of A1. I don't know. I see. Oh,
No, actually,
are you
it was
having an old fashioned? Because I see bitters, I see sugar, I see zest, and I see whiskey.
But honestly, it didn't matter if we were eating healthy or we were eating junk food. It was just whatever we had, whatever we made, they were eating that.
Yep.
And then, but we also like to go and just randomly try different restaurants, especially stuff that's not a chain restaurant. Like, hey, I've never seen that place. Let's go there.
We've gone to,
and so they've just gotten used. So it's just been a part of their lifestyle. So if you raise them like that and you don't feed into the shit for the first 2 or 3 years of their life that they're getting off of the boob and soft foods, and they're don't buy into the shit and just be like, hey, try it. You might like it. At least just try a little bit, and then after that, and that's worked.
I love cooking, and of course, since I switched jobs and I became a workaholic like I wasn't before, I don't cook as often as I used to, but I like to. I have very specific recipes I try to modify.
She doesn't follow recipes.
That was a terrible. Okay, I don't have recipes. I come up with my damn self, but it's my recipe. It's in my brain. But anytime I tried to change it and modify it to something a little healthier, the kids were like, and I was like, crap. It's not like they were bad. I was
no. The cauliflower pizza crust was fucking horrible.
No, yeah,
that was
not good.
Horrendous.
I tried to make my own bread and it didn't come out good. I'm not a baker. I'm a cook. I'm not a baker.
I understand.
So I tried to make bread and it was real bad.
Speaking,
muffins.
okay,
I made keto muffins.
I'm gonna-
no.
I'm gonna jump
I can
back onto
imagine.
the knucklehead thing,
Yeah, here we go.
and with what our niece Casey just brought up, says just be careful with the knives. I'm gonna let
How
Kat
dare
talk about her
you?
knucklehead
Dear
experience.
you.
So-
What was the careful?
I stabbed myself once.
Oh wow.
I have street cred now because I've been stabbed. So
It doesn't
you're
count if you
welcome.
stab yourself.
I'm down with the Crips and the Bloods now because I have a stab wound. I'm just saying.
So why don't you tell everybody how you got the
was
stab wound?
making a new recipe that I eventually had to remake it because that did not work out because then there was blood all over the onions and everything.
The white
Anyway,
onions became red onions.
So
There you go.
I was making a Asian dish.
Yeah.
So I, was dicing things
Oh, they had the
everything.
burn. Did you get the onion in?
It was the same one. I cut the onion in, garlic, cut up garlic, cut up
Ouch.
bell peppers, have it all in there. And I was trying to break up onion salt. So I'm trying to break it up with a knife and it is not working. And I get pissed and I go, damn it. And it skipped off the corner of it and went an inch and a half into my hand.
Oh,
and so when I
man.
pulled it, I just by instinct pulled it out, which I know better. I'm a medical professional. I've worked in a trauma unit.
Yeah.
I pulled it out and I went to the sink and I'm like, babe. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I stabbed myself.
So I was taking.
myself.
I
And he goes-
vividly.
He does this.
I vividly remember it. I was taking. I was like.
There's another story.
I was like almost out the front door. Front door was open. I had a bag of trash. I was taking it outside of the outside can, and I did not think it was severe. I thought she was just being a
Because I
pussy.
wasn't acting
I was like,
hysterical.
What?
I was like, I cut myself, and he's like,
I'm like, whatever.
And I go in there and I show, and he's like, I gotta see it. So I lift it up. He goes, oh shit! He goes, I need to see the other side to make sure it didn't go through. So I went like this. He's like, I can't tell. We gotta go to the emergency room.
Oh my
There was
God.
so
There
much
was
blood.
so much all over the kitchen. It ruined our meal. My sister, God bless her, lived 2 blocks away. So I had to call her, like, can you watch my kids? I'm going to the emergency room. So I'm sitting there in the emergency room holding my hand like this as someone's like, Miss Barbara, with her tiny cough, goes back first. I'm like, I have a wound.
Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go.
Like that doesn't.
But it was
count
like,
for a cough.
Okay, so for everybody that's listening to the podcast and not watching it, she stabbed herself in the meat, the fat part of the meat, right between her thumb and her pointer finger.
Yeah.
So-
like,
You
So
see?
do myself a favor,
It
or
went straight
do
into
yourself a
the
favor and
yeah. Oh,
pinch
It went here.
pinch that meat right between your thumb and your first
so
finger.
I basically
There's a pressure point right there.
Severed the
Yeah.
nerves.
Now imagine taking a knife there.
No.
I severed the nerves for my
Mm.
first 2 fingers on my left hand, and ripped through the muscles and everything. It took months to
you to
gain
be able to do that?
full. I had to go through physical therapy and stuff, so
Yeah,
I have full mobility. But I will tell you this: I've learned the hard way. I can't hold a 44-ounce drink in this hand and trust it because sometimes my hand just lets go.
Sure.
I don't know what happened, but ever since then, if I'm holding a drink, I'll just randomly drop it.
2 things you don't do anymore: that and try to break onion salt with knives.
No, I've caught her doing it again.
Oh no! Wow.
I'm like, put the goddamn knife down.
And believe it or not,
Step away.
the knife had
Slowly.
salt on it. That burned like a
I bet it did.
So
All right.
yeah,
Thank you for bringing that up, Cassie. That was cool. That was interesting. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's fine.
yeah.
And we were
knucklehead.
worried though. It was
I bet
like
it
2
was.
months later, and I still couldn't grip. I couldn't
I
move
would
my
be too.
fingers.
How
So
old was your
I was
son?
scared.
We had
Ooh,
we had
we didn't. We
2
only
at
had
the-
2 at the time.
Yeah, we had our oldest, so
they
this was-
were 4 and 6.
Oh, that's even.
Yeah.
So
young.
Yeah.
I was still
Yeah.
working in the oil fields at the time, so I was gone a couple days later, and she was having to.
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was around.
She was probably breaking onion salt when you weren't around. So
You know what? It was around the time.
Why
I
don't you
got
do it like the rest
pregnant.
of us? You put the lid back on, and you just beat it against the fucking
Did you hear
counter.
me?
You just beat it off, and
Really?
then it comes
That's-
out.
That is around the time I got pregnant with Nolan. So maybe I was just pregnant, didn't know it yet. Okay, no, that's not true.
No,
Because by the
that's-
time I got pregnant, I could move my hands again. Yeah. Hey, I got full dexterity. I can do the stranger on JD.
It's like-
did you see what your dad said?
No.
It's
That's
sad we
pretty
learn
funny.
the life-threatening accidents on your podcast. They know this story. I've made her tell it time and time and time again.
Do they know about this? Is this the first time they've heard this? Oh, wow. Well,
If
now
I would
they
be
do- now
really
they do.
surprised if this is how they
Now
learn.
it's going to be conversation at Christmas time. So,
Actually, we're going to see them in a
Stabbing
few days.
herself, Not tell anybody. So mom and dad, we have to decide Crips or Bloods. I was thinking Bloods because I look really good in red, but I'll leave it up to y'all.
Do you know that you know the dude Steve-O from Jackass?
Yes.
You know that he has a tattoo right here, and it's hands with one has a red bandana and one has a blue bandana, and they're holding pinkies like this, and it's Crips on one hand and Bloods on the other, and he's like, "This is the tattoo that's gonna get me killed."
I was about to say he hasn't gotten killed yet. Was that
Seriously.
did he lose a bet?
It's Steve-O.
Like I mean,
That's right.
You
He
can
has his
never-
own face on his back. So
he's an interesting dude.
Mm.
Interesting dude.
I'm so sorry. I thought y'all knew.
I
Yeah,
thought they
that
knew
was-
too. Everybody.
was
Wow. As many times
yeah.
as I've
Alfred-
made her tell the
I
story.
like Alfred's comment too. That's funny.
Keto muffins.
Keto muffins.
Oh
So for those of you who are listening, it's cool. They're able to interact with the audience. They do a live stream of the show. So yeah,
You know, that's our favorite. I hate when we have to do pre-recorded because I prefer
the interaction.
the interaction. It's like having a conversation. Like we've always thought of the bar stool is the great equalizer,
Yeah.
which is where part of the name of the podcast comes from. Because how many bars have you been to where there's a guy in a suit next to a guy in cutoff shorts, and they can talk to each other like they've known each other their entire lives,
Yep.
and just shooting the shit. And there's no agenda. It's just an organic conversation, and that's kind of what the Barstool has. So when we have the live audience, when we're not pre-recording, like that's
why
the
we don't ask
most
people
fun
about
part.
their business. We meet someone at a bar, you don't ask about stuff like that.
No,
you want
you
to
end
know who
up
they
talking
are.
about
Yeah.
a bunch of other things. It's totally understandable. So it's interesting you mentioned that.
Well, I have street cred now because I was stabbed. So go ahead and vote. Everybody vote. Let's see
we're gonna
who
vote.
wins.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Everybody on this podcast vote Crips or Bloods and let us know. And whichever one.
Should we
What-
add a third one? and say
We'll
cops?
wear the
Like Crips,
bandanas
Bloods,
one
cops?
show. We'll totally
Just use it.
own it. Like I'm in. So y'all go ahead and vote.
I don't know if we're gonna go that far because I.
Oh heck.
No, okay, yeah, we
we
will.
can wear
We
a
will.
bandana on our show.
Oh, I
so
thought you were going to talk
everybody
about
vote Crips
tattoo there for a
or
second. I thought
Bloods
you were gonna go
because I got
full Steve-O.
stabbed. I have
Yeah.
a stab wound. I have street
don't do that.
cred, and now I can join a gang. Tell me which gang I should join. Mexican Mafia. You tell me. Oh,
So we already got one
Bloods.
vote
Alfred's
for
got-
Bloods.
Fredo says Bloods.
So you said you wanted to
Yeah, Chris says blue. Okay. What color do you get when you mix them together?
Purple.
There you go.
Right.
which is
I'll vote
that's
that.
Latin Kings, isn't it?
Is it? I guess. I
Is
don't know.
it? No.
I watch a lot of those gang shows on like
no,
History
Latin
Channel.
Kings are
And
not purple.
they're purple and gold.
Are they really?
Are they really?
I didn't even know.
Oh,
I
I'm totally
inadvertently voted
googling
for
that.
that.
I'm live on the show. Oh gosh, my phone already thinks real bad about me. I'm googling Latin King.
So
No, I'm gonna
before
get
we went off
Facebook
the tracks like we
feeds.
always
Yeah.
do, you started to say something. Do you remember where you wanted to go?
It was just about podcasts. I like the medium
Hmm.
because you had made the reference of being on a bar stool. Everybody, like, it's like going and watching the UFC. I don't know how many UFC fans you have in here, but like every time, and it's phenomenal seeing what those men and women do when they fight. It's the preparation that goes into it. Everybody stops what they're doing. It's like watching a car accident. You don't want to be in it, but you watch it. It's just like, that's the most powerful thing about a podcast is you get to be that third wheel while two people are having an interaction and you get to listen. So from an audience perspective, you
It's
always
like
hear it.
public speaking
Yeah.
without the public.
Yeah, to a certain
And
extent,
it's
yeah.
black and gold for the Latin King. So suck it.
There you go.
Casey says combine them into the cruds,
The cruds.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sure.
The blips or something.
the blips.
The
It looks-
blips.
I
I,
mean,
like the blips.
If you're being official here, it looks like there's quite a bit of votes for the Crips there.
See,
the
blue
blips.
or the blue.
Your
colors,
parents
so-
say the banditos.
Yeah.
Oh well, crap! They just threw something else in there.
That's red and gold.
So yeah, that would be red and gold. So that's too.
That's a motorcycle club. Isn't
It
it?
is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a motorcycle gang. So
The dominant club of Texas.
cool. I still like the blitz. Yeah, that's.
I like the cruds.
No. Oh, see, you see, there's already a fight with this. You have created two artificial
just say
gangs
those
and they're
words out
already
loud, like-
fighting.
No. Until I said it out loud, the words
That's
"I like
funny.
the cruds" did not make sense.
Just say you misspoke, and it's like it was a Pixar movie. The
And then
Cruise
as
or
soon
something, you know?
as soon as I said that out loud, I'm just like,
I'm a respiratory therapist. I've dealt with the cruds. I'm good. I'm over it.
that sounds like a
Jesus.
respiratory disorder right there.
Yeah,
The
man,
cruds.
the cruds. In fact, that's what we call it every season where everybody starts getting sick. We're like, oh, the cruds hit.
so. Let's make sure that the
Oh my gosh, you know what I mean.
statute of
Chris.
limitations has passed What's your favorite knucklehead story of stupid shit you've done?
Oh gosh.
We're calling you out.
Knucklehead, like not business related.
Oh yeah, no. Like just you being a knucklehead.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I will
Just your dumbass.
so
Go back in
all right,
uniform days.
Statute of limitations does go way back. This is even prior to the uniform days.
Oh, nice.
So this is so middle of nowhere, Nebraska. So shout out to my Midwest folks. Adam, you know what I'm saying. There was a like this, you know, those or y'all are probably into this, like the haunted hayrack rides. Y'all ever been to one of those things? Okay, cool. All right. So haunted hayrack ride south of where I grew up. A couple buddies of mine, we thought it would be a brilliant idea to stop by a grocery store and get I think we ended up getting like 4 dozen eggs, and we hit ourselves. So we parked about a quarter mile away from where we actually staged. So we parked, turned the lights off, had the vehicle relatively concealed, went strategically placed ourselves on this old railroad track, and we heard the haunted hayrack ride coming around. And what we did is we decided to just egg the ever living bejesus out of the poor people that were on that haunted hayrack ride. So that was the start of a series of knucklehead things that the next like half hour, 20 minutes, half hour led to. Starting with us running away and forgetting there was a barbed wire fence between where we staged the vehicle and where that was. So we lost 2 people, and then we ended up, lost 2 people, meaning they like flipped over the barbed wire fence, and we had cut up legs. It was awful. We were 16, 17 years old, just freaking goofball.
Just doing 15, 16 years
And then when we pulled away, I drove through a ditch because there was a car that came like off the paved road down the little gravel road, and we thought it was chasing us. And so like for some reason we decided to like jump a curb, and it was in a Jeep that didn't get, like the back door was not completely shut. And so one of my buddies almost fell out the back. Like it was the epitome of stupid. So
on an unrelated note, if you or someone you love was injured on a hayride in Nebraska around
25 years
2000,
ago, about 25 years ago.
around
So,
the year
yeah.
2000, please call this number.
Location remains undisclosed, but
And it's
Midwest somewhere.
It's so
Midwest
funny because
There's no statute of limitation for egging.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
We're
true.
just gonna make that-
like I was
We
a,
ruined a lot of Halloweens that day.
I was a
Okay.
shithead growing
Then
up.
I hate you because
Yeah.
Halloween is our jam.
Well, that's where I'm going. Like I was a shithead growing up. Like as a teenager, like I was
Did you ruin people's Halloween
not their Halloweens, but I ruined a lot of people's
lives?
whatever.
Live.
Yes.
Dot.
Yeah.
I
Like,
ruined their everything.
I made a lot of bad decisions that inadvertently affected other people's lives, whether
Yeah.
I wanted to or not.
You're preaching.
Yep. Yeah.
Some, or even on purpose, where I just made bad decisions that I thought were funny at the time. But it's funny that you bring up the Halloween thing and the shitbag stuff that you were doing,
Yep.
because like a couple years ago, my mom was the one giving away the candy at the end of our Halloween haunt after everybody
Oh.
walked through, and she's like,
Oh,
JD, there's
gosh,
been
yeah.
these kids, they've walked through like 8 or 9 times. I'm like, well, are they getting
Same kids?
Yeah. And I'm like, well, are they getting candy every time? And she's like, no. I'm like, there are a lot worse things that they could be doing on Halloween on a Friday night
True.
as high school kids than walking through our haunt over and over and over again.
And
if they want to walk
actually,
through here 20 times, by God, let them do it,
we
because
always have candy.
they could be out vandalizing. They could be
Left
getting high. They
over.
can be getting
Yeah.
drunk and
Yeah,
driving.
that's true.
They
Yeah.
could be doing a lot of things. So I'd much rather them just circle our haunt over and over and over again. And a couple of them actually asked if they could hide in the haunt and scare people.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
like, by
cool.
all means, go for it.
Yeah.
That's
There's a couple
cool.
local
Because it
kids that
keeps
actually
people from
help
being
us.
the same shithead that I was.
Yeah.
I
Like those
understand.
guys that were getting high in our haunt, and we had to
Oh,
escort
yeah.
them out because there was kids right behind them, and
Oh,
it's like,
no.
don't be
No.
fucking disrespectful.
Yeah, last year there was
Don't be
a group of
disrespectful.
4 kids, and they were walking through our haunt, and I could smell it. I'm like, man, that's some good shit. Like, they weren't smoking the shit that you and I smoked when we were in high school.
Sure.
I don't know if you admitted to it on MEPS, but I did, so I can talk about it.
He
Not
did.
that
Yeah,
trash.
he did, and my buddies did.
I
For sure.
didn't,
So,
mom
but-
and dad. You can even ask Ken. The first time I smoked weed is because of this fuckhead.
This fucker.
So you're welcome. I never
But,
smoked weed in high school. Boom.
But they walked all the way through, and then at the very end, I walked out of the haunt, and then I could see them in front of our neighbor's house next door to the sideway that goes to their door, or the sidewalk that goes to their door, and I'm walk up, and one of them's getting ready to take a hit of their joint, and I rip it out of his mouth. I throw it on the ground, and I just rub my foot back and forth on it. I make sure that they're not going to be able to salvage any of this weed, because I am pissed. I'm fucking pissed. And when I grab it and throw it on the ground, all 4 of them boys bowed up on me like they were gonna do something. And I just went into straight instinct mode and I fucking knife hand.
Oh wow!
I'm like,
It came out.
and knife hand, and I'm like, look here, fuckstick. Like just
you
straight up
was
old Scott.
almost DI,
And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you do. You can smoke weed. I don't give a shit. But there's a lot of people in that haunt right now that have worked their ass off to build it, to put it together, to their money for costumes.
Yeah.
There's a state trooper that's one of our actors in there. So you're fucking lucky
So
that
I
he's not, or she's
smelled
not a.
I followed them. I turned the corner.
And but as soon as I knife handed, they all just kind of shelled up a little bit.
Like, oh, dang it, he's really mad.
And then I ended up staying up most of the night because I assumed that they would come back and retaliate, but they didn't. But it was like I don't give a shit, man. Smoke weed if you want to smoke weed, but there are people in strollers.
Do it in your freaking backyard. Do it in your mom's basement. We don't care. 2 comments from Daniel Woodson. 1, when I talked about not smoking weed in high school, they called me an overachiever, which is amazing.
Thanks.
Number 2, but the banditos are local, shop local. Hilarious. Very hilarious.
So if you are just tuning in, make sure you put in the comments whether Kat should join the Bloods, Crips, or now as a write-in the Banditos, and we're gonna tally it up to see who she joins at the end of the night.
That's true. So we got a couple.
So
I think the point that you were making, which is fun, to talk about it. I mean, everything, all the mistakes that you make, like when you go back and you look at them, they're only funny like with enough time
in hindsight.
Oh gosh, yes.
Because in the moment, you imagine how terrified those kids were, regardless, because they didn't retaliate. It's because in the moment they were terrified.
Yeah.
And then looking back on it, that's probably one of those what do they call it? Like those defining moments for them where they actually decided to make a change because you did the hard thing, which was correct somebody who was doing something wrong.
Well,
I was just pissed at the disrespect because it was because literally October 1st, I have an entire building facade in front of the house, and you can't even see our house from the street on October 1st.
Wow.
And then after that, literally every waking moment I have that is daylight, I'm out there working on it. And then when other people come and help, it's the combination of myself and everybody that helps. It's literally thousands of man hours in October that go into putting this together for one night of people to walk through it. And it pisses me off when somebody just the blatant disrespect to not just ruin it for us, but to ruin it for other people around them, because there's people that were pushing there's little kids, there's people with strollers, there's we have a lot of
autistic kid that comes through every single year, and he's grown, he's probably what in his
20s? He's
20s?
grown, but mentally he's never gotten past like 11 or 12 years old,
and anything,
and it's awesome watching that guy because he
holds his mom's hand and his sister's hand, and he walks through every year, even though he's like his sensory issues with them is so prevalent. So good for him.
Which is actually
every year.
We're actually making a big change this year in the way we do our haunt because of him and a few others. Is we are ordering, those paper wristbands that you get when you go to a club or you go to a concert or something like that. We're gonna get those for and they're gonna have our QR codes so that everybody can put their pictures on our Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that.
That's cool.
But we're gonna have the glow in the dark bracelets for children under a certain age or for people with sensory issues. And that's going to be our scare actors cue, like, hey, don't scare the shit out of this person because they're
So we're going to tell
but that's also going to be
the ghouls,
and so they're going to hold it up and they're going to be in front of them with this, and it's a magic bracelet that keeps the scare people away.
Yeah.
And so we're going to tell our actors to even cower when they see it,
yes.
So that
we're even going to separate those people, them, like if there is a group that has littles that are going to have the bracelets on, let the other people go ahead, count to 15, and then let them through,
so that
they're not scared when we're scaring the people in front of them. So it gives them a little bit of a
How many
gap.
years have y'all been doing this? This is cool.
So your brother passed away when even when
10,
he was alive.
10 years ago.
When his brother was alive, he created a haunted house in his backyard, and that's how it started.
Wow.
So combined with some of these props, this is like their 14th or 15th year.
He's right. Bracelet idea is amazing. And then look, Dad's dropping pearls of wisdom here, Kat. So
Oh,
sorry to
no.
interrupt you.
Oh yeah.
So
There are 2 or 3 life-changing decisions in your life. The problem is you don't know which one they are until later. So treat each decision as if it was one of them. That is so gosh darn true.
Man,
So
like
true.
I really, really, and you know what really pisses me off about how how thick I was, like thick-headed with a lot of the
we call
decisions
that-
I
What?
we
made
call that being a knucklehead.
was knuckleheaded. Yeah, it was. I was so fortunate that I had people around me that were trying to steer me the right direction, and a lot of people don't. And I was lucky. And even with those people trying to steer me in the right direction, I still made so many stupid, selfish, immature
too.
decisions, like
Yeah.
way
yet you're still
beyond
around.
what it like. If stupid decisions was golf, I would have had like 18 under par. You know, like I
my-
was.
I understand what you mean. Yeah. I'm
Your
with you.
problem is you're hard-headed. My problem is I'm a high-functioning anxiety person. Like I thrive on, I hate to say chaos, but being overwhelmed. So if I'm not overwhelmed, I
She
think I
makes herself
almost
overwhelmed.
create that for myself in some degree or another. Like I almost have to have the anxiety. And now my
Interesting.
job gives me plenty of that. So I'm good.
I know. Ever
Hopefully
since
you
she's
can
been
categorize that, like keep it there, like keep it at the office.
my home life has
Yeah.
been so great since she's
It's
been stressed
true.
at work.
It's true. We've been way happier since I've been stressed
You're like,
out. at
you've
work.
never been happier when she leaves to go to work. You're like, oh, no, I'm
Yeah.
teasing.
No, it's it's almost like I need it. It's weird, and it took me a long time to realize that it's almost it's probably an addiction, and there's probably
Which is why I was
medication
right.
for
Casey
it.
brings up adrenaline. Maybe you're addicted to dopamine. You have a dopamine addiction.
Maybe.
And
you know,
the
some
adrenaline-
people skydive. Some people, they're thrill seekers for the same, adrenaline rush. Maybe it's the same thing for me. It's the anxiety and the stress that releases, something, and maybe that's it. Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
So
there is something to that. I remember
there
talking to
is.
not just combat veterans, but just veterans, just going and having conversations. And I used to think that, talk therapy was just something, hokey. It was that there's really nothing to it at all. But your nervous system stores up those reactions, and talking with people who are specialists in that area who can actually help you work through that stuff. It's kind of amazing the difference between what you perceive to be a threat and or like a self-limiting belief way back in the day. And then when you actually go back and work through that, much to your dad's point about it being potentially one of those 2 or 3 things that were life-changing. It's amazing the freedom that you feel whenever you're done with that.
Yeah.
My stepdad was a jackass, looking back on it, back in the day, he left my brothers and I with some really tough things to have to overcome as we got older. But then now that I have kids, I look back at that stuff and I'm like, there's no way that I would have done that to my kids.
Yeah.
So, I wasn't the one making that mistake. It was my adult treating me as a kid wrongly. So anyway, I say all that to say that, your nervous system stores all that stuff and you can work through all that.
Well, because I had a very demanding job, but I wasn't high on the totem pole. And then I took a promotion, and first it was madness. I literally helped build a unit. That is intense. And it was 24/7, and it was exhausting. And as soon as it got open and the dust settled, I was bored. I was so bored. And I was like, oh no, what did I do?
It was so frustrating because she would
was
she would
so
be
bored.
sitting here trying to create issues that she would have to solve.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it just literally
Mountains out of molehills
creating
type of
problems
situation.
to
Yeah.
solve them.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
then the second promotion came up to become the manager of both departments. So not a clinical coordinator, but above that, who basically runs it. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I'm very functional. I can do anything. So I'm like, I'm going to apply for it. And sure enough, I get it. And it is madness and it is chaos and it is overwhelming. And I love every minute of it. It is so stupid. But then JD's like, man, we've never been happier. We've never made love
But it's
this
like-
much. And I'm like, yeah,
but it-
it's great.
It's also like we thought we would be happy with me working from home and all that stuff, and that was the biggest stressor in the world. And our marriage
Because
was.
I set expectations on you.
I
that
set
you did
expectations
not
on me that I didn't live up to. But
Mm.
with the adrenaline thing and the company I work for, I work at a steel mill. For those that don't know, I play with lava. But the company I work for in the cafeteria, they put a big marble wall on one of the walls in the cafeteria, and it's got the names of all the veterans that work there.
That's cool.
And the amount of veterans that work there is insane, and it's got to be because just we're all addicted to the adrenaline. Like it's
The intensity.
Yeah, like
it is.
my dad said, like
It is
like
I'll show you some
EMS
pictures once we get off the air.
EMS
Like,
and fire. Dad, what about beat cops? I know, like, we have cops that come into the emergency room, obviously. There's some
Is
who
your
will
sister a
never
nurse too?
not be beat
That's our
cops.
niece.
Oh, niece. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
So it's
Is
like
she
they're
a nurse
addicted
too?
to the rush.
No.
just
I keep on
disciple.
talking over you. I apologize.
sorry. No, you're
I know.
good.
I've
Oh, we
been
do it all the
married
time.
Almost 20 years. So I should know better. But I don't.
My dad says you need a knucklehead beer.
Yeah, we do.
Get with
that's a
5x5,
damn good
see if
Would
they
idea.
it
can get
taste
you-
like stubborn?
It would probably be an IPA.
if it's like most
Bitter
beers I
like
drank when I was
soul.
younger, man, this tastes like bad decisions.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, crying as you're doing it.
Laughing at first and
No,
then
that's
crying.
funny. That's awesome.
As
Yeah,
long
we
as
do.
it's not, as long as it's not like whiskey.
Actually, we have
Right.
knucklehead hats that your son-in-law made. So
There you
they're
go.
pretty cool. I got a comment on them last week. So the tactical, was it the OD green? The
Yeah,
OD green
which is
tactical
funny.
ones?
You
You
were
think so?
Yeah.
you were
What's
like my
that?
fourth
He
or
said-
fifth
he says
order.
He thinks the beat is their comfort zone. I always assumed it's because that's where the
I
chaos
agree.
happens. So
I
I
agree with
always
that.
thought that that's why they're just addicted to that.
No, but that's when
adrenaline
they're in
rush.
their strength zone too. I mean, they're
That's
Beat
what
is
you've
their
trained
comfort
for,
zone.
and it's the you whatever you've trained
talked
for
to a lot of cops and firefighters.
all the positions
that
you've
way.
been in.
I trained for respiratory. All the other ones I have found along the way.
No, whether you
I had
see it or
guidance.
not, you've always been training for a managerial position because you've always put yourself in that position. You do the research outside of work.
It's true.
You know, it's
I volunteer. I go to the meetings, any
That's a
meeting,
success habit,
and
doing all
I
the extra
teach
stuff.
classes. So
Yeah.
you're right. I always did take, to some degree, a leadership role, not intentionally, because there were times in my career where I was literally like, I'm not going to do management ever again. How many times have I said that? I will never
Every time.
be a manager again.
every time you've gone to a different place. I'm never
I'll
managing
never
again.
And for some reason, they're always like, "Hey, we've got this leadership."
Well, because you're a natural leader.
opportunity. Do you wanna? And I'm like,
I am not. You are. Like you have this way of just you can talk to you. Let me collect my thought real quick.
oh,
Not only
wow.
can you talk to people, but you can identify the personality types to be able to talk to them a certain way to either elevate them, redirect them, whatever the situation is needing at the time. And that is something I don't have. I
That
have
might
one
be the
mode. I
nicest
have
thing you've ever said to me.
hey fuck stick, and that's the mode I work because that's all I've ever known. And I don't know how to approach
Well,
people the other way,
the
but
whole
you
thing-
have that, and
I
it's
think
come
a lot of things.
very natural to
I
you.
think in management, people forget that you're managing adults. Like if you're,
But are
if
we-
you're managing adults, can you just fucking treat them?
You've
like
met the
adults?
guys
'Cause
I
they
work
really
with.
Appreciate that. Like just hey. Yeah, I don't want to say hey fuck stick or whatever you do. I can't say that in a professional environment. So I'm like, hey, brah. But I can't do that.
Oh, I want to see you knife hand one of your
I
RTs.
d- oh. The only time that's come out was with my last boss.
So with you being a business owner and you have your own
Yeah.
team that you've built
Yep.
at this point, and being are you a combat vet or just a veteran? I don't know.
No, I was never in combat. I was in. I did get deployed to Iraq. We did over 100 missions. Only had a handful of incidents, and we sent a handful of people back to Germany for medevac. But no, we never received rounds whenever we were on missions.
I don't want to.
So-
I don't want to set the bar too high for you, but someone on our show, they saved someone famous. So
What?
the guy on our show that saved Mark.
Oh
Marcus
yeah.
Luttrell.
Tony Brooks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who was
yeah.
on the rescue
Yeah.
crew for Marcus Luttrell. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. No.
Yeah. I'm
No,
not trying to set the bar,
certainly not.
compare you to other guests.
Nope,
Just
not at
like-
all. I would be several notches below that
So-
young man.
So with you going from a military, especially Marine, which is known as being like the harder, more gritty branch.
Yep.
And going from the knife handing, hey fuck stick, to running a team, how do you do
huge
that?
Differences.
Like,
Huge differences. So shout out to the Knucklehead team. We do a bunch of creative things, and it's a good question. So some of what you were just noticing about what your wife can do, that's what you have to be able to do. You have to identify where, first of all, everybody who comes on board, prior to them coming on board, we've evaluated them. We've sent them questionnaires. They take a test. It's actually called Crystal Knows. It's a really cool. It's like an online questionnaire that diagnoses differences about people's social profiles, and it puts them in different categories. Like, are they decisive? Are they indecisive? Are they, more? Things have to go along? Are they more analytical? Like, what is their personality? Myers-Briggs is kind of the way that you would categorize that.
This test.
So it's pretty cool.
and what is it again?
It's called Crystal Knows. So Crystal
That sounds
knows,
like a drug.
she knows.
Crystal knows,
website.
KNOWS.
Yep.
That
Okay,
sounds
Crystal
like,
knows.
It sounds like
does
crystal
sound
meth
like-
in your nose. That's what it sounds
Okay,
like.
so that's how we're remember it.
Crystal.
That's not what it is, but that's what they call it. So it's a really cool, useful tool
Got it.
to help us just talk. I mean, because you can't talk to an audio editor who sits there and just pays attention and listens to inflections and understands the prompts and the change in voice inflection and how things change the same way that you talk to somebody in sales.
Yeah.
Now, there's similarities,
Mhm.
but the differences is what the biggest difference that you have to be. So somebody who can pay attention to detail, and then somebody who's a creative, like who's responsible for making our YouTube shorts or Facebook Reels, or the connectivity between the marketing ops and what URL ties back to which campaign or which asset. All of that attention to detail is what the standard characteristic is. But I don't want somebody who can do that and then just can't hold their tongue working in sales. So it's
True.
like you got to be able to like have those strengths work for you. So
I
no,
don't- I don't
Crystal
think
not knows like Crystal, she knows something.
Crystal
She knows
knows.
something I don't type deal.
Crystal knows, it's all bleedy and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that type.
And they
So,
said,
good
"Thank you
question.
for your service."
Heck yeah, absolutely. A lot of people that I served with, it was some of my best time alive, was just working with some really cool people. And it's in the network that's come as a result of it. I never thought I didn't join just so you could get to know people after the fact, but it's amazing the commonality. Like JD, I was giving him a hard time for being in a different service before we started, and I got the service wrong. But yet, he
Everyone
was able to make
does.
fun of me for being a Marine, and I call it just being a knuckle dragger because that's what I am.
Have you had
So-
the crowns ready to eat yet?
Oh yeah, those are great.
They're fucking delicious.
Yeah,
We were
thought
supposed to
had
we were
more.
supposed to sample
Turns
them
out
live
we
on the
just-
show,
Yeah.
and our
ate 'em.
kids ate them all before
Yeah,
we could.
our family.
We
ate
had
'em.
like 6 packages, and the kids ate them all. I'm like, well, I guess
I
they're
mean,
good.
the packaging is
fucking
great too.
Yeah.
MREs, and like they look like MRE. It's really cool.
It looks.
They did a
The
good job.
packaging looks like MREs, but
So-
they're legit
Yeah.
crayons. Our kids were drawing with them
Yeah.
and eating them.
Casey. So Casey's dad and I.
Max, right? No, not
Uh,
I was thinking Max Franks. Forgive me.
Isaac.
I saw
Isaac
it,
is.
yeah.
is her
So
dad,
Casey's dad, Isaac, is married to her oldest sister.
Okay.
Long before I ever met this one here. Isaac and I were in MEPS together.
Oh, wow.
Isaac and I went to basic training together.
Oh, wow.
We were side by side bunks.
Oh, he was also one of my
And-
sister's 18 roommates.
And then I lived with one of her other sisters.
and I was friends
At
with,
one point,
I
and
was
never
friends with
met
his
her.
Brother.
I had no clue she
I was friends
existed.
with his brother. I met
And my
his
best friend.
brother.
The lead singer of the band I was in for years
I think
was her friend.
the first time I met JD's brother, I was in my, I don't know. I met him at Tynan Hall. We danced once. He reminded me later, but I was probably 16 at the time. So I had known his brother since I was 16 years old. So by the time I was 18 and bartending, we were very close friends.
Oh, wow.
And he kept saying, like, everyone kept telling me, "Oh, you got to meet my friend. Oh, you'll kick it off." And I was like, I don't want a relationship. I was pre-med. I was so focused. I was like, no. And
then you walked into her life.
Yeah.
The day I got home,
Her
Yeah.
knucklehead
moved home.
decision was meet. No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The day I moved home from
Hey, Dad, that was one of those 2 or 3 decisions.
yeah, the day I moved home from the service, met her.
Wow.
And we've been together ever since. We were hooked up. We were supposed to be a one night
Really?
stand. Yeah, Dan, Karen. First time I met her parents, I had an 8-inch mohawk and metal sticking all out of my face because I used to have all kinds of piercings and yeah, I was
spoken
retarded.
like a true airman. No, yeah. Looking hard.
His
but no,
nipples
teasing.
were pierced. His tongue was
I had
pierced.
eyebrows, septum. I
Other
had
things
big old
were
fucking holes here
pierced.
that took forever to close back up.
Wow.
Like completely different person I am today.
Talking
Like, I
about
was
the
an idiot.
changes from going
Yeah.
door to running a business. There's more similarities there than what you're talking about, what you do.
No
now.
kidding.
So you've gone through all the change, my
No
friend.
kidding.
So good for you. Now your dad, kicking ass and taking names, doing some big things. It's cool.
Yeah, I'll know how good of a dad I am by how much money I spend on therapy in about 15 to 20 years.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah.
You
And
know,
then-
yeah.
what it is.
But
yeah.
I don't think anybody
We
knows if they're a
literally-
good parent
we
until
literally
Until
had
it's
down the
over.
line.
days.
Not
Yeah.
even it's over.
We've
Your
had-
dad is still like interacting with us here. So
Yeah.
you never stop being a
he
dad.
hasn't,
So,
he hasn't
you know.
tapped it. We'll say something. We'll make him blush. So there's times where we've had moments with our kids where our 15-year-old's like, oh my God. And I was like, that's going to be worth therapy. It's worth the money I'm going to pay in your therapy later. That was worth it.
That's
And he's
fine.
like, I don't like this.
And your oldest is what, 12?
12. Yeah.
12.
Yeah, 12 and a 9-year-old. They're awesome.
Man, you're
So-
the
We
next
have,
couple
what,
years are gonna
15, 13,
change you so much.
Ooh, I don't doubt it, man. I'm already starting to see the little
Oh, and
preteen,
all those-
preteen
Do you have
two
boys
coming
or
out.
girls?
Both boys. Yeah, both boys. So
You'll be fine.
say a prayer for my wife. So
I'm just waiting for the day for both of them to do the quintessential call the old man out.
oh no.
We've
Really?
got, you know what?
I
I
don't
gotta
think that-
say, we've been pretty lucky so far. You know,
So
like
far.
the teen attitude. has
Well, the
just been
trick
a
is to
little
just beat the ever living
mouthiness.
shit out of your kids for the first 4 years of their lives. That way they fear you forever.
And,
Yeah.
who beat the shit out of them?
That's
Who
worth
did-
the therapy right there, right? That's worth the therapy.
JD was on the rigs. It was mom who was outnumbered who beat the shit out of him. I was like, nope, because I knew I was outnumbered, so I knew I couldn't put up with
I don't think-
shit.
I think our generation is probably the last generation that has that calling out the old man mentality. I don't think it's.
You think
I
so?
think it's probably.
Dad.
The cat is fucking with the. Hey, go.
Maisie, no. Dad, did you call out? Did you call out Papa? Did you
I saw
ever
the
like go
screen
to
thing
blows
and
with him?
yeah.
Because I'm just curious. Is this like a tyranny Irish thing, or is this like a men in general thing? So I'm just curious for myself. I just want to know.
The cat is almost getting the
Every episode that cat
Adorable.
likes to.
like involve me.
Hey, no.
Involve me.
That cat every
He
fucking
says
episode.
neither one
has-
of you have been beaten. No, I got my
It
ass.
was-
I got my ass.
It was
whooped,
physical redirection.
But I know now that I deserved every second of it. That's not the point. But yeah, did you call out Papa? Did y'all ever go to blows? No,
No.
but my brother almost did. Ooh,
I did
Uncle
once.
Gary. Ooh,
I did, and
ooh.
my dad boxed for the Navy, and it wasn't fucking smart.
Yeah. Well, that
Yeah.
goes back to like
Yeah.
I'm willing to fight anybody. May not win, but
yeah, I swung and woke up.
Okay,
that
wait,
was
wait.
that was my 2
Wait, I
steps.
have a more
Oh,
important
dang.
question. Dad, do you think Papa would have whooped Uncle Gary's ass? That's what I want to know.
Okay, I'm
Wait.
pretty sure your grandpa could have fucked
Oh,
up Gary
I think so too.
when I met him. At the age that I met him, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
but
he was so kind to me, but I could see that angst in him.
he's got it. Yeah,
Yeah, I could see that
I'm
angst. in
pretty
him.
sure he had
Yeah,
a wicked
man.
streak.
With a baseball bat. Come on, what?
sounds like your dad.
Oh, we're
may-
gonna have to
may
listen to this story when we see y'all in a couple of days.
We're
Yeah.
getting this story in New Mexico, which I'm not supposed to say we're going to.
At some
tomorrow.
point, at some tomorrow that could happen. So again, OPSEC cat. So
I don't
We-
know
we-
what knapsack is.
Not knapsack.
OPSEC. Did I say
Okay.
knapsack?
It
I meant
sounded like
OPSEC.
knapsack.
OPSEC,
OPSEC.
operational security.
Yeah.
You don't let people
I'm
know
not
what's
going
gonna happen.
on a mission, sir. I'm going to fucking New Mexico tomorrow. That's what I'm doing.
All right. Sounds
be
good.
okay.
We'll never know when this publishes. There we go.
Yeah.
Outside of the people who are watching live.
Well, by the time this publishes on,
yeah.
on the other platforms, we'll already be back.
Exactly, you'll
Yeah,
be fine.
that's right. Yeah.
Do you think the
You'll
two
never know
people
you're back.
watching are going to come rob me? Is that what you're thinking?
What's weird is that number that's on the screen is never fucking right.
It
So I'll
is
go
not.
look.
Never.
Mm-mm.
It's never
Mm-mm.
right.
It's
real-time analytics on Meta or this platform.
And that's coming from our media
They're never
expert,
right.
and he's saying this is horse shit.
They're
So
never
there
right.
goes my jokes.
Well, what's funny is there's
watch our
times when
show.
we'll have comments from like 12 people showing up at the same time, and it shows that we have like 2 people watching. It's like, how is that
And
possible?
y'all are hearing it right here, people. My grandpa and uncle's
Garbage.
drama right here.
That's why y'all tune in.
I don't want so I understand what you're saying. We don't have to keep on going on this particular topic, but I hope my boys don't ever, because I don't want to neutralize them, if you know what I mean. I don't want to have to like get to a point where my kids come at me because they feel like they got to prove themselves. I want them to do it to one of their buddies or,
see,
that type of thing.
We
Like,
taught
I
our
just feel
kids
bad
to
for-
be intellectual. So
Yeah, there you go.
they are quick.
Yeah.
So I'm very quick.
Oh, they're witty. Like they'll
I'm
stun you.
quick-witted to the
absolutely.
point where JD gets frustrated and walks away because he is not as quick as I am, and he gets angry. Our boys are just as quick as me.
But
Real
they
fast.
also go to, or they used to go to Muay Thai and BJJ with me too. So
jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
for sure.
So yeah, but I've also told them like you never start a fight. I want to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
If somebody starts one with you and you finish
finish
it,
Yeah.
cool. I'm taking you for ice cream.
Yeah, 100%.
You see somebody getting bullying and you go fucked up to bully, I'm taking you to steak.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
I don't give a shit what the school
If
says.
I hear that
Yeah.
someone was bullied in front of you, you didn't do shit, we're gonna have
Yeah,
a
that's gonna be a
conversation.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not about you. It's not about me. It's about like, is that right or wrong, man? Like, if you know that they didn't deserve that, if they deserved it, stay the fuck out of it, man. Let them handle it between themselves, like men or like children or whatever.
Sure.
But if someone is unwarrantedly being abused, assaulted, bullied, whatever you want to call it, and you stand to the side, you're just culpable.
There you go.
So, I mean, that's like watching someone being sexually assaulted, not doing shit. Really? Wow, that's fucked up. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's like, to me, it's like,
Yeah, don't pull out your phone and press record because that's the problem.
That's the problem.
There's a very big
Yes.
problem in society where people
Oh
are
my
like this
Yeah.
instead of actually doing something about it.
Yeah, the being able to be incentivized for recording and be an observer as opposed to doing something about it. Yeah, that is a problem for sure.
It's one of those the flip side of the coin to technology.
yeah.
Like technology is amazing. The things we can do.
Yeah.
And what do we
Yeah.
decide to do? Watch porn, record people with stupid shit.
Sometimes both at the same time.
Or Netflix, or Netflix.
And for that reason, you're playing
Yeah.
us out.
Yeah, I guess I will play us out here. So with that being said, we are going to call it a night.
Yeah.
Steven, thank you very much for taking the time
We
to come
could
out
have,
here.
like 3 more shows with you. This
yeah.
was
This was
awesome.
This
This was a
was
good time.
it's so great having somebody in person and not
Right?
on a
Yeah.
screen in a
No.
little box.
It
With
changes
the
everything.
delay
Changes
and their
everything.
phone is cutting
It's-
out.
What? Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the organic way it goes. It's just so much better. So yeah, thank you very much for coming by.
Absolutely,
I'm
man.
sure you and the
Glad it
guys are
worked
gonna have fun
And
editing this
enjoy
one.
Listening to this
they're gonna have a
playback
good time.
as you edit
pulling
it
out
and
the-
everything.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's just gonna be
oh,
fun.
God, what did I say
Are you?
to that? Yeah. That's just how it works.
So as always, if you are out drinking or you plan to go out drinking, please
Heck
find
yeah.
your sober ride home. Stay where you're at. Call an Uber. Do what you got to do. We want to see you here. Same beer time, same beer channel every week, except for next week. We're not going to be airing anything next Wednesday, but following Wednesday, we are going to be having Nicholas Ron back on. It'll be his 3rd time on. He's going to be talking about his adventure where he tried rowing across the Atlantic.
And
And,
capsized.
And
Yeah.
and this dude, if you haven't, when I was 11 years old, he does everything that I want to do.
He's like a
He raises
ninja.
wolves. He races cars.
Wow.
He traveled the country on a jiu-jitsu tour. He climbs mountains. He has 16 nonprofits at this point.
Yeah.
It was him and 3 other
He
guys
can
tried
deliver a
rowing
baby
the
and
rowing the
smoke a
Atlantic.
cigar at the same time. I don't even know. This guy's
The amount of stuff that
insane.
Nick has done is amazing. So we're gonna be here, but he's also he's a suicide attempt survivor. He pulled the trigger, it went click, and since that day he's done nothing but try to make his life the best that it can, but also make it the best for other people as he can. He's got 16 nonprofits that he runs, most of them for veterans, combat veterans, PTSD, suicide survivors, things like that.
Ridiculously uplifting.
Like he is
Ridiculous.
by far the guy that I want to be. Like he just talking to the guy makes me a better person. So make sure 2 weeks from now that you tune into that. It'll be August 9th. Besides that, we'll see you next time. We love you guys. Thanks you for tuning in.
Love you.
Thanks
See
for
you in a
having me.
couple weeks.
Appreciate it, Joe.
I don't